Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we have a video on mentoring in Football Manager. If you want to see how that's done, basically like a complete guide and everything you need to know, then keep watching the video and hopefully you learn some tips. First things first, we need to find out the best mentors. So, if we go into the Dynamics page, and then the hierarchy, and here we are. So, Daley Blind, Vice Captain, Model Citizen, Team Leader. Perfect. Absolutely one of the perfect mentors you can get. One of the best personalities, if not the best one. Next, we have Dusan Tadic, Perfectionist, Captain, Hierarchy, Team Leader. Almost perfect, if not perfect. Perfectionist is a very good one. And then Martin Stecklenburg, Professional, Team Leader. Again, you see where I'm going? So your team leaders have the most influence on your young players. So the higher up they are in this hierarchy, the higher the influence they have on the young player. So next we have, is it Davy Klassen? Yeah, it's Davy Klassen. He's professional, a very good personality again. He can be used too. He's a highly influential player. Pazvia, he's also a model citizen, like Daley Blind. He's also in the highly influential thing. Steven Berghuis, he's 30, fairly ambitious. We could use him. Fairly ambitious is fine. It's not amazing. It's not model citizen or perfectionist, but for example, if you guys aren't in charge of Ajax, right, and you're in charge and you're saying, Lewis, but I haven't got this many, I haven't got a model citizen, I haven't got a perfectionist. A fairly ambitious player as a team leader, if you're down the leagues and you don't have the luxuries of these players, fairly ambitious is very good. So he's fairly determined. So he's fairly professional, like this guy down here. Spirited's good if you don't have the model citizen and perfectionist. Yeah, balanced is just balanced. It's a mixed bag. It's like, you know the pack of Revels, you know the chocolates that you can get, and you can get anything out of it. You could get a coffee, you could get whatever. That's what balanced personality is. So that's what I'm gonna explain. That's how I'm gonna describe that. Hopefully you guys got it. So the next question you guys might ask is, okay, so how do I get players higher up this list? So if you look onto the right hand side here, it says Richard Kitzbichler. His feedback, right? This guy, Richard. Good old Dick. He says, Daley Blind, Dusan Tadic, and Martin Stecklenburg are well established within the squad. They have been with the group for a long time and have a good understanding of the culture here. And then it says their games again. It says they're all currently happy. They should keep the morale up. And it says they're all approaching the end of the career, so they should all retire soon. Okay, so it's a little bit of information that, like, it's not the greatest thing if you let all of them go. So, yeah, Daley Blind might not be in your plans. He might be a backup. But as these guys play less, they usually go down the list, so they're no longer team leaders. So the way how you get them up the list is if you make someone a captain, it promotes them up. So if, for example, I don't want Tadic as a captain, although I think he's a very good captain with 19 leadership, but I see someone down here who I want to build my team around, I don't know, Bassi. He's only got 8 leadership, but imagine his leadership's 18, right? And I make him captain. He will probably fly straight up from other players because he's new. He'd fly up to influential and eventually he'd make his way up to the team leader, right? That happens without captaincy and vice captaincy too. That happens with length of time at the club, like it says at the top corner. That happens with multiple different things, like getting better as a player. So the better players usually are the team leaders. They either lead with like Harry Kane as a captain. I don't imagine Harry Kane as a captain leads with his motivational team talks. I imagine he leads with his professionalism in training, around the place, and his quality in the match. So there's different types of captains, right? So that's the first part. The next part we have is identifying which players you guys want to tutor. So, like I said, Timber, he's a 5-star player, but I think with a fairly determined personality, and with how good he is and a good determination too, I think he will reach his potential. He doesn't need altering or mentoring. He's absolutely fine. He's already one of the better players, so he doesn't need it touching at all. So we're going to ignore Timber. Conce Xiao. Now, Conce Xiao is an interesting one because he's a balanced personality. Now, we want to try, if we can, get players away from balanced, and we want to get them to a spirited, fairly ambitious, fairly determined, fairly professional, model citizen, professional. All these ones here, right? Another thing that could help as well with mentoring, tutoring, whatever you want to call it, is if you go into the information tab here, right, you can see media handling style. Now, this has an impact on their personality. So, outspoken, we all know what that means in real life, right? He says what he wants, he says when he wants it. So that could be I think outspoken, I'm pretty certain from what I've learned over the years, is that means his controversy could be quite high. And his sportsmanship could be quite low. I don't know which one it is, but basically, it doesn't matter which one it is, you want it changed, right? So outspoken media handling style might not be the best thing, right, for a football player. So I think Conceição might have not a terribly balanced one, but I don't think it's a good balance. I think it's literally balance, right? I think he needs tutoring. So Conceição will be in one of the mentoring groups. Lorenzo Luca, perfectionist, no need to touch him at all. Leave him well away from the tutoring. Leave him absolutely as far away from the tutor groups as possible. Lorenzo Luca is absolutely fine as a perfectionist. You don't want to touch him at all. And Mohamed Ihatharan. So he's on loan, but he's got good potential. Now, Ajax do have a loan fee of 1.7 million. So I would go ahead and buy him and tutor him if I was the manager. That's what I would do. Again, outspoken. You probably want to do the same thing with Conceição as you do with Ihatharan. Those guys want to be changed. Let's just flick through some of these guys and see if there's anything that stands out. So evasive and reserved is good. It means they won't rock the boat. They won't be confrontational. Level-headed again. Level-headed. There's a few. Unflappable's very good. I think that's very good pressure attribute. Media friendly is good. Evasive and unflappable. Outspoken, again, not great. There's also more that you might see from Nugent's. There's volatile. There's a few others that you'll see. And you know they're not good, right? They're personality traits that are not great. They're not conducive to a professional football player making their way in the game. So yeah, you want all this: level-headed, evasive, unflappable, all those ones. And they do determine, for example, if we look at Balotelli, because he's a polarizing figure, and we go to information, he's outspoken, right? Something you don't want. He's outspoken, he is. I know Football Manager can't give players negative personalities because that's like a personal attack on them. I understand they can't do that. So I think the most that they can do is call them outspoken. I think that's their limit. So that's something that you guys need to... So when a Nugent comes through your academy, or you buy one in from Colombia and he's like a world beater, but the problem is he hasn't got a good enough personality, right? He might have unambitious, or he might be balanced, or he might not be great. You want to get them tutored, and you also want to take into account their media handling style, because it does make a difference on their personality. A lot of people, I don't think, know that or even look for that, but that is a thing, 100%. I will leave a link down below to the personality guide as well that I've been using, that someone in my community, Vice, has picked out, has found. I'll leave it in the description below, in the comments below, whatever, one of the two. It'll be down below, basically. When you click the subscribe button first, right, it'll unlock. Now, it won't. It'll be there, but please hit the subscribe button anyway. And that is the next point that I was going to come to too. So, if you have the luxury of a lot of mentors and a lot of mentees, as we go into the B team and the under 18, so these guys here, right, there's got a lot of potential in Ajax, as we know. That's why I picked them, to show you guys on the biggest scale of how to do it. So Don O'Neill, this guy here, he's a balanced personality. He's 15 years old. His attributes are quite raw. He's got 4 dribbling, 4 composure, 5 anticipation. So he needs a lot of work. Now, it looks like he's got a hell of a lot of potential, right? This guy's rated up against Tadic, and he's 5 stars. He's a very consistent performer. So I imagine if you take your time, either footed too, if you take your time and really work on this guy, you mentor him really early on, you shape his personality, then you loan him out, play him in the B team, then play him in the first team when he gets to 17, 18. You might have an absolute wonder kid on your hands. You might have one of the best players on the game. I don't know his potential. But all these guys here, as you see, they've all got balance. The spirited guy, leave him alone. Spirited's very good, leave that alone. Fairly determined, I would leave that alone. Fairly professional, this guy, Skyvink, leave him alone. But yeah, the balanced guys, just have a little look. Media friendly, so that might be a good balance, but I would still tutor them anyway. So, next thing we do is we find the guys that we want to mentor, like we've just done. So we go Don O'Neill, Setford, Silvano Voss, Aloka, Buanida, Misahoy, and Kian Fitzjim. We click them and we put them into the senior squad, the first team. Now, what you want to do is, so these guys do get game time, when you promote them into the first team, right? These guys, they'll be at the top because they've got good potential. You want to highlight them again and you want to make them play available for the 18s. So they will play for the 18s, but they train with the first team. They train with these really good personalities, right? That's going to help them. So after you've done that, go into training, go into mentoring. Yeah. Add group. You can name it what you want if it helps you out. You can put goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders if you have an abundance of mentors. And you just add a player, and then you go and find them. You can search by age or personality or whatever. Usually age is best because the best ones are at the top. And then first of all, I want to go with Tadic in here. So Tadic, again, like team leader, he has a significant estimated influence on the group, right? So this guy is just a very good one. Right, now, we know Tadic, he's an attacking midfielder / striker / can play on the right wing. So this guy, Kaloka, we're looking at adding him in there. He's the same sort of position. Misahoy, he's also attacking midfielder. We put in Misahoy. Buenida as well, we can put him in there. Now look, so David Kaloka, he has a light influence on this group. Now I wouldn't worry about that. The best thing he can have is none, like this guy. But I think it might be his age. As he now becomes a professional player, when he signs his professional contract, he has a bit of an influence. But as you can see, the estimated effect from the group is significant on all three. So Tadic is working with those three, really, and they're looking up to him and seeing him as like a god at Ajax almost. And this is how I want to be. This is the guy I want to learn from. Now, Tadic's traits, this is another thing. So traits in FM have a massive impact in the match engine. It's like their personality. Player personality traits, right? So he likes to play shots. He likes to play these back to goal. Likes his ball played into feet because that's the way he is as a technical player. And he cuts inside from right wing. Now, I'm not saying that every single one of those traits will go to every single one of those three players. That's not how it happens. Trait transference is what I call it. Trait transference isn't very popular. Now, it can happen, but it isn't massively popular. So I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't not put Tadic in there because he has plays with back to goal, and then I'm making a really fast striker plays with back to goal. It wouldn't worry me. The amount of like positives to this mentoring far outweighs the potential chance of one of your players learning an attribute, a trait that they don't want. It far outweighs it, and the chances of it happening is lower compared. So, and things aren't that ideal. You don't have, it's not really possible and realistic to have a mentor with perfect traits for the mentees with perfect like potential. It's just not how it is. So some things aren't ideal, but it's how it is. So this is my first mentoring group, right? My second mentoring group will be down here, and we were going to add in, let's have a look. We're going to add in Daley Blind, model citizen, team leader. Right, now he's a defender. We know Daley Blind, he can also play DM, left back, so he covers the defense and the defensive midfield. So, Silvano Vos, centre back, DM, he's going in there. I'm going to put Don O'Neill in there, because he's a centre midfielder. And Silvano Vos, he only gets an average effect from group. It's not perfect, but it'll work. He's fine. And Don O'Neill has a significant one. So like I said, that's another group. We had another group as the cat comes to say hi. Let me just move the cat down. Bye, cat. Thank you. Third group, we need to add in Setford, right? We need Setford in there. So Tommy Setford, you're going in there, mate. And then there's a few goalkeepers we have, isn't there? There's Stecklenburg and Pazvir. Now, this guy is very lucky, Setford, because he has two really, really highly influential and team leader players, model citizen professional, and he's learning from both. So this guy is very, very lucky as a young player. And then you could add another group in. It's up to you how many you want. Steven Berghuis, this and Davy Klassen. We can add these two in because they're not as good as the others. So we're going to like double up. And they have an average influence because obviously they're only highly influential. They're not team leaders, right? They only have an average influence. And then we're going to add in, what was the last ones we're going to add in? We're going to add in Brobby. But again, I don't think Brobby's going to work, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to have, he has worked. We're going to do him. We're going to do Conseil Xiao. And I think we can add in, because we've got two mentors in, we can add a few more. So let's have a look at what we've got here. Is there anyone that needs it? I don't think there's anyone that needs it. There you go. Okay, so that's fine. So, again, David Klassen, Berghuis, average influence on group because they're not a team leader. They're just highly influential. And then Brobby, Kian Fitzjim, and Conseil Xiao, they're they're learning from the group. So in a nutshell, this is basically how it's done. There's not a massive amount to mentoring, honestly. It's just, it's not a lot to learn, and it's not like a video that's really complicated for you guys, but it's something that people tend to not touch and just hope. And I thought if I just give a quickish video, and if there's any comments on it, let me know. If you could please hit the subscribe button, that'd be absolutely fantastic. We're 7 away as I speak now. We're 7 away from 2,000, which was my target at the end of 2022. And until next time, thank you for watching.